Hi, Erdenejargal. Nice to see that you've sent us another set of essays. Let's take a look and see what you wrote today. Okay, the first one is from Albion University. Here's what you wrote. Dear Sir, Madam, I'm writing to apologize for my absence in an exam, and I was not able to provide any related documents with an S on time due to the fact that I was ill and hospitalized during the time. My name is Erdenejargal, a holder of student card this, and corresponding case number is this. Okay, and the corresponding case number is this. On the morning of the exam, while I was walking down the street from an international student dormitory to the university, I was hit by a car. We don't start sentences with and, so get rid of the and just start it with when. When I woke, with an O, up in a district hospital, I had already been unconscious for 3 days. Therefore, I was unable to attend the examination, get rid of in, and did not bring proof, no A, within an approved deadline of 2 days, within the approved period of 2 days, or something like that, or within the 2-day period, something like that would be okay. With reference to the required evidence, I am planning to bring my hospital treatment report and a police accident record once I check out from the clinic. In addition, if any other document is needed, do not hesitate to contact me. Once again, I apologize for the inconvenience or any inconvenience. Thank you for your understanding in advance. Yours faithfully, James Gordon. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. There are a couple things that are a little strange here. Did you apologize? Yes, you did, twice, so that's fine. Did you identify yourself? Yes, you did. Did you explain what happened? Evidence? Yes. So let's talk about what you didn't do. Number one, you didn't give any resolutions, not even one. You're supposed to give at least 2. Why 2? Because it says resolutions plural, which means that they definitely want more than one. You didn't even give one, okay? So you completely missed this, this bullet, which means that it's absolutely going to lower your score considerably. Definitely we're looking at below a 6 to be sure, just because of this mistake. You cannot miss any of the bullets. Not only can you not miss any of them, but you also have to fulfill them completely. So even students who write 1 resolution, it's just not enough. You have to give at least 2. So that's the first thing. And the other thing that is really strange for me here, not that it would really affect your score, but you did something really bizarre. Here you say that your name is Erdenejargal, and then here you sign your letter James Gordon. So it's a little bizarre, okay? Like I said, you probably wouldn't get marked down for that, but, you know, do pay attention to that kind of thing. And then, of course, there were grammar errors throughout this letter. You saw that I corrected quite a few things. But again, the biggest issue for me is task achievement because you completely missed that 4th bullet. Okay, the other thing that I wasn't super happy with was the way you phrased this here. It felt too abrupt. So I'm writing to apologize for my absence in an exam, and for the fact that I was not able to provide any related documents. Okay, so that's why you're writing. All right, not this part. Just to me, felt really rather awkward. Okay, so there are some things you need to do to improve this letter. Let's take a look now at your task 2 about technology. Here's what you said. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether advancements in modern technology brought humankind more social or not. So let's fix some of that grammar. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether advancements in modern technology have made humankind more social or not. Some believe that scientific developments made people more distant than ever. However, personally, I strongly disagree. Now, why do you need the however here? Because you have 2 contrasting statements here. They're opposites of each other. So just having a comma is not enough to show that you're contrasting something. This says it will argue the disadvantages of telecommunication development, not with, using examples from the UK government and Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, so it's fine. Let's move on then. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that technological improvement has brought loved ones closer than ever before. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, technical advances based on science have enabled a financially affordable approach to implement global systems such as the internet. Secondly, people are naturally motivated to be in constant communication, singular, with one another, whereas technology creates the environment. Not whereas, I think you mean where technology creates the environment. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that 90% of all UK population, 90% of the whole UK population communicate with their families through their mobile phone, get rid of call, because it doesn't make sense, through their mobile phone, at least 4 or 5 times per day, whereas people in the 1950s were unable to do so. You need the word so here. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that technological developments bring family members closer than 1950 and earlier. All right. It's fine. There's one thing missing here. I know that you had main idea, and then you had one example. But I want you to have one example for each main idea. Anytime you have any sort of a main idea, it's really important to support it. Don't just rely on one piece of support. Each main idea needs support. So after your firstly, you should have, where was it? The central reason, firstly, etc., etc. You should give your statement here as to why, okay, your support. And then the rest of it was fine. Okay, so no problems. Let's see. On the other hand, although there is a case for misunderstanding of ideas when they communicate through email or chat in their second language, the impact of international scientists' connections cannot be overstated. All right, there's a problem here. When you use this kind of construction, this first part of the sentence really needs to link back to what you said in the previous paragraph. So, for example, what you really want to say is something like, although people find themselves communicating with their loved, or how about this? Although there is a case for more frequent communication thanks to technological advances, the impact of something, I don't know, whatever, cannot be overstated. So that makes sense. This is how you link the two paragraphs together. But you have to somehow kind of summarize the main idea of the previous paragraph in the first part of the sentence and then continue with the rest of the sentence. So this was a little problematic here. It creates a lack of coherence, a lack of cohesion. It seems a little off topic. And this is largely because technology provides a social environment where international scientists could work together for one purpose, such as curing cancer and sharing experiences. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that during the spread of the Ebola virus in 2013, most communication had gone through email and isolated devices without any face-to-face communication between doctors and nurses in different locations around the world to avoid infecting other scientists. Consistent with this line of thinking is that a considerable amount of important scientific research is going through technological enhancement. I don't understand what that means at all. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that technological advances in communication have a tremendous impact on the social life of researchers who are working on well-being of other people. Okay, not exactly. You talked about the social life, but this paragraph doesn't deal with their social life. It deals with how scientists use technology to help create breakthroughs and help communicate important scientific advances. So this is not really accurate here. This absolutely is not accurate. But let's think about this. Okay, so looking at it again, you say here that you strongly disagree, and then you say that you're going to talk about the disadvantages. You know what? Here's where the problem lies. Look at this. Okay, so here you say that you disagree with the idea that scientific developments have made people more distanced than ever. So what you're telling us is that you think it's brought people closer together. Then, look what you say here. It will argue with the disadvantages of telecommunications development. So this is really confusing. I think what you really meant to say here is that you will argue in favor of the advantages. That's what you really should have said. Argue in favor of the advantages of telecommunications. Okay. Remember what we're working on here, though. Social. It's made man more social. So, let me tell you where else the confusion came in. You have this here. This is what really, really, really made me struggle with this. I've now read this essay like 4 times. On the one hand and on the other hand, this is the problem. You can use on the one hand and on the other hand when your 2 paragraphs show opposing sides, but that's not what's happening with you here. You're arguing just one side of the essay, which is partially why I was so confused, because the way you wrote it here, it looked like you were going to talk about, I don't even know what, maybe both sides of the essay, or both sides of the issue, and that's what I thought when I saw on the one hand and on the other hand. And so I've now read this like 3-4 times, and I realize now that you think that no, all these breakthroughs in technology have really helped us. Unfortunately, this is not the greatest way to develop this paragraph. You talk about the social environment, but you know what? It's not. What you're describing in your paragraph has nothing to do with man becoming more social. You're talking about how using technological advancements can save lives, help with scientific breakthrough, but this is not social. This is scientific, this is business, this is work, but it's definitely not social. So I really, really, really disagree with the way you develop this, okay? So, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that technology provides an environment where people can be more social. It is predicted that virtual reality and communication technology will increasingly grow in importance. Okay, that part's fine. But I think I've given you quite a bit of information as to what's wrong with the rest of it. Also, with your task 1, we talked considerably about that. So go ahead and correct these now. Return them back to us, and let's see what you write for us the next time. Good luck.